Hello and welcome to episode number 394 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be SmackDown for week 1 of August 2023. And we continue the road to SummerSlam. You know, we had some big things last week. The face-to-face between Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight. Io and Asuka went face-to-face as well. We had that Chase U Rules match. We had the announcement of a strap match between Bronson Steiner and Keith Lee at SummerSlam and a whole lot more. Tonight, though, we start the quest to find out the number one contenders for the United States Championship, as we're going to have the singles matches between The Miz and Santos Escobar, and Buster Gates and David Martin, as well as Ilya Dragunov versus Omos, which will kick off tonight's show. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. 81. Yeah, this is pretty good. I imagine we just go cold open, like there's no opening segment. We actually jump straight into the opening match, which is Omos against Ilya Dragunov, which we announced last week. Ilya said he was the most badass, most intense man here on SmackDown. I guess to prove that he is, he has to beat the Nigerian Giant. And in 9 minutes 41, he does do just that. He pins Omos with the Torpedo Moscow. Impressive. I don't think that many people have pinned Omos since he's been around. Like, I don't pin him that often. I actually don't know if he's been pinned since he lost to Big E back at Money in the Bank last year. So it may don't quote me on that, but it may well have been over a year since Omos physically took a pin. But yeah, Ilya gets it here tonight. They both score 77s, and that's actually quite low for Ilya, so I'm not sure what's up with him there. But yes, he picks up the win. He grabs the microphone after the match, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, like I said last week, I am the most dangerous, I am the scariest, most powerful, most intense man here on SmackDown. And if anybody dares to disagree, get into the ring and face the wrath of the Shah." Brock Lesnar storms out, and he comes to the ring. He laughs in Ilya's face, and Ilya laughs in his face, and Ilya goes, "Well, I see a man who thinks he's the most intense man in WWE, a man I constantly hear called the Beast, a man I constantly hear get called a badass. It's now time, Brock. Put your money where your mouth is." And Ilya slams the mic down. And then Brock, I imagine he gestures like to go get a microphone. But then as he does, he turns around, he drops Ilya from behind with a clothesline. And he lays Ilya out for an F5. And we do that spot where he F5s Ilya, he sort of laughs at him, tips it at him. And he leaves the ring. And then as he leaves the ring, Ilya's back on his feet. He wants more. And then Brock slides back in, hits another F5. Goes to leave again, gets a little bit further out the ramp. But then Ilya is back to his feet and he's calling him on for more. And at that point, Brock probably grabs a chair, starts wailing into Ilya, starts beating him up, grabs the steel stairs, F5s him on the steel stairs, probably twice. And then security tell him to like escort Brock away. And this time Ilya is like, he's not stirring that much, you know, because he's just been fucked up. So he may have proved his worth by beating a 7'4" giant, but Brock Lesnar apparently has other ideas about who the most dangerous man, the most intense man here on SmackDown is. We then cut to the back. Pierce is in his office and he's like, "Yeah, well, I don't know, what's Brock doing here? Like, who invited Brock? Like, I didn't know Brock was going to be here, you know. It's probably important to know when a guy like Brock Lesnar's going to be on your show. They'll be here, ha 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 ha, Mr. Pierce, Mr. Pierce. You see, I don't mean to drop in on you on a bad time, but, you know, last week, my boys here, you know, you promised my boys a championship match here tonight." And Pierce's like, "Well, first of all, I didn't promise them a championship match tonight. I promised them a chance to earn a championship match at SummerSlam tonight. And first of all, regarding to you, Seth Rollins, you know, SummerSlam, you don't seem to have a direction for SummerSlam this year." It's like, "Yeah, well, whose fault is that, Pierce?" He goes, "Well, no, Seth, listen, we have something. We have something we think will be perfect for Seth freaking Rollins. Now, as for Jacob Fatu and Sosa Koa, if those two want to go to SummerSlam, they're going to need to win tonight in the main event. A 3-way match. The winning tag team goes on to SummerSlam to face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships." So he goes, "Oh, Pierce, Finally, you're coming through for Seth freaking Rollins, and I'll tell you what, this little plan you think you've got for me, it better be good. When they cut to the ring, LA Knight comes out. His music hits. He goes, let me talk to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, here I stand, 7 days removed from my official declaration that I, LA Knight, will be going to the Tokyo Dome in Japan, Tokyo, Japan at SummerSlam, and I'll be wrestling that bomb-ass World Heavyweight Champion, Carmelo Hayes, and his little yap dog, Trick Williams. Yeah. Now, you see, Carmelo, he thinks he's the king because he's got the crown. And because he's got the championship, he thinks he's rules SmackDown. Nah. Let me tell you who rules SmackDown, and that is me. Just because I don't wear the stupid king robe and the crown doesn't mean I ain't the king of the ring. So there's going to be one man, Carmelo Hayes, and I said you're not here tonight because you're running scared. Because last week I shut your little lapdog's mouth up and you had to jump me from behind and hit that leg drop on me. Well, I'll tell you what, that ain't happening at SummerSlam because I'm going to be my eyes focused on both him and you, because there's only going to be one man taking home that World Heavyweight Championship, with everybody saying, L.A. Knight.
Where's the lie?
Out comes Bobby Fish. And he goes, L.A. Knight, the megastar. Well, let me talk to you, L.A., because, quite frankly, I'm sensing a lot of lies coming from this ring. So you came out here, LA Knight, and you came out here to say that you think you run SmackDown. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't run SmackDown because Bobby Fish runs SmackDown. And I mean, folks, where's the lie? And you're coming out here telling me that you're going to go to SummerSlam and you're going to beat Carmelo Hayes for the World Heavyweight Championship? Where's the... Oh, wait, there's the lie. Because LA Knight, you've never been top of anything in the history of your wrestling career. You've been, 20 years? Took you 20 years to get here? Because you haven't got what it takes. You're just a flash in the pan. And I mean, folks, where's the lie? And I know he sort of laughs. He goes, Bobby Fish, you want to talk about taking 20 years to get to the WWE? I mean, it took you 60? How long have you been wrestling? You've been wrestling since 1927, and it took you to WWE. It took you nearly 100 years to make it to the WWE main roster. And what have you done of note since you've been here? Absolutely diddly squat. Yeah. I'll tell you what. You're telling me where's the lie? Well, I'll tell you where you lie, Bobby Fish, and that's down in the center of this ring. Because next week, you've booked yourself a ticket that your mouth can't cash. Because you, Bobby Fish, are going to learn one way, and one way only, the hard way, whose game it is when you go one-on-one with L.A. Knight. Yeah. So, yeah, L.A. Knight going out, Carmelo Hayes, who's not here. Bobby Fish answers, and it seems we've got a match next week. L.A. Knight versus Bobby Fish. Where's the lie? We then cut backstage. Candice is with Florence, Lyra, and Killer Kelly. She's like, girls, I mean, you didn't have to come to my aid in this fight against Next Gen. Like me and Bianca had a thing on Heat. Bianca, she may be being a bit weird right now, but she is still one of the top girls in this whole division. So having her by my side is still going to be of use. But I appreciate you guys having my back. So now, if you factor in Bianca on Raw, we kind of got the numbers game. And then Chelsea Greensworth walks in and with Deonna by her side, she's like, why are we still talking about this? Okay, Candice, let me get this straight. You were attacked on the biggest pay-per-view of your career. You lost the Women's Championship and you were sacked by the Next Show on the same night. And instead of doing what you should be doing, and that's going to management and telling them that these guys should be fired, okay? If I was in your shoes, and trust me, I would never be in your shoes, I wear my own, I'd have dealt with this issue by now, because I'd have got them fired, because they have no business being on this roster. because they are Heat girls and you are a SmackDown girl. But I guess you're just not as smart and well endowed as I am. Candice goes, you done? And Sonya goes, no, actually, I've got more to say. Because last week, you seemed to think that I was a pushover. And I'll have you know, Candice, you may have been SmackDown Women's Champion. Well, guess what? So have I. I've also been Raw Women's Champion. So, you think you're a pushover, and you think I'm a pushover. I say that you're just trying to cling on to any shade of relevancy, and you know that you're scared that this next generation that's targeted you is going to pass you by. And Tiffany Brooks, oh, excuse me, girls, what are we doing over here? Like, this is my hallway, my backstage area, because I run this show. I'm the center of the universe, you know me. And then she's like, what happened to your face? She's like, Becky punched me unprovoked back at Evolution. It's like, it's so gross. Anyway, what are we talking about here? Because I don't think that Candice is handling this next-gen situation well, because, well, let's be honest, there's only one next-gen star out here on WWE, and it's not any of those girls, it's me. And Candice is scared to get in the ring with me because last time I embarrassed her. And Candice's like, well, didn't I beat you well? Anyway, moving on from that, there's 4 of us and there's 4 of you, so how about we say later on tonight we do an 8-woman tag team match and we settle this in the ring. Tiffany goes, I don't see if you've noticed, but my face is kind of broken right now, so I'm not really in the mood to compete in the ring. And then Font just goes, hers isn't. She points at Mariah May. And Tiffany's like, I guess not, Mariah, you can take part in this match. And Mariah's like, yeah, sure. So, Florence, Candice, Lyra, and Kelly get a chance to sort of, test their team out there on tonight against Sonya, Deonna, Chelsea, and Mariah May. They get an 80. Bayley beats Indy Hartwell in 8 minutes and 3 with a Rose Plant. Bayley gets a 77, 68 for Indy Hartwell. Yeah, that's actually pretty good considering the ratings we got here. But yeah, Bayley, I imagine like during the match she's like mouthing off at Cora and Dakota. Like not on mic, but she's like talking shit during the match. Then after the match we cut backstage and Kayla was with Dakota. It's like, Dakota, what are your thoughts on what we saw from Bayley just now heading into SummerSlam? Watching Bayley now I've seen Bayley's real side, and she doesn't care about anybody apart from herself. It does make you wonder, what was I ever doing seeing her as a friend, or let alone an idol, a mentor? But that's okay, because I guess I've got no friends now, because we've all agreed to go our separate ways, and SummerSlam we're going to prove out who was really in control. Bayley seems to think it's her, and Cora seems to have this weird delusion that despite her being the youth of the group, the one we were trying to elevate to our level, she thinks she's overtaken us. Well, let me tell you one thing, they haven't overtaken me. The only reason I haven't been SmackDown Women's Champion since I lost it is because Bayley was keeping a stranglehold on that title and not letting me near it. But now, I've got no one else's feelings to hurt. Just your faces. So at SummerSlam, we're going to find out who's in control, and her name was King Coda. And Dakota walks off. We then cut to the ring. Banners, it's a Chase U. It's Chase U recruitment day, basically. Andre Chase is there, Bodie's there, Shane Reynolds is there, Thea Hale's there, and Haley Paul's there. Andre Chase at the podium, and he's like, well, ladies and gentlemen, last week we saw guts and we saw glory from our 2 brave young students here, Haley Paul and Thea Hale. Give it up for Thea and Haley. The crowd applauses Thea and Haley. Also give it up for Shane Reynolds and Bodie Hayward and me for, I guess, being a part of this whole thing and helping get back Chase University from those evil witches who sought to take it over. But, with that being said, it wasn't all Chase University. We did indeed have some help. And we are now here, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to Chase U Recruitment Day for their outstanding contributions to Andre Chase University, I would like to officially offer 2 new Chase U spots to our friends in DKE, Morgan Daniels and Hams Katana. Out come Morgan and Hams. Hams like, oh my god, yes, it's the best day. This is the best day. Where's the cake? Did you bring the cake? Morgan goes, no, there's no cake, you know. I mean, Cammy spent all the cake budget last week, so, you know. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Chase, for, letting us in. And, we promised to, do Chase University proud, and it's really the reinvigoration that we needed here in our careers here in WWE. Andre Chase goes, well, it's great to have you girls. It's great to keep the Andre Chase University name alive. And guess what? The rest of Andre Chase University, I hear Tokyo's coming up. I hear SummerSlam's coming up. Our celebration, Hammy, we're taking you home. Andre Chase University field trip to Tokyo. Chase U, Chase U, Chase U, Chase U, Chase U. See how I just felt like adding Morgan Hams to Chase U just felt right, They all have different roles, I guess, because that's what I like about Chase U. Is like I like to have it like be, like they are all each individual characters that you would find in a class. Like you got Bodhi, who's the nerdy boy. Shane is like the jock who slacks off. C is the know-it-all or the hard worker. The energy. Well, you know what Thea Hale is. Haley's the head down. Nerd. Morgan's like the popular girl. And then Hams is the foreign exchange, who likes to eat. Yeah, we've got a nice class going. We then cut to Trick and Mello in the barbershop. And Mello is there, he's talking to me, he goes, listen here, I hear last week I put that LA Knight in the ground. Do you know this guy? This guy thinks himself as a megastar, okay? He walks around like he's hot shit, like he's the best damn thing to ever walk through that curtain. Well, guess what? He ain't even him, because I'm him. Because he may have won a tournament to call himself king, but I've been king since I came here to SmackDown. I've beaten, I can't even count how many former world champions. It must be, 20 at this point, Trick? He goes, oh, you tell him, Mello, you know more than me. Last week, LA Knight, he put the old boots to old Tricky Willie. But that ain't no matter, because Carmelo Hayes, he proved who is him. And it's not LA Knight, yeah, it's Carmelo Hayes, the world heavyweight champion. And I was like, well, what's LA Knight ever won, huh? Nothing. What's he ever done? Huh? Nothing. In my short period of time here in WWE, I've already been Money in the Bank. I beat John Cena at WrestleMania. And I'm the World Heavyweight Champion. So SummerSlam's going to be a cakewalk when this new flavor of the month, this LA Knight megastar you all guys will keep hyping up, I'll prove he's nothing. Because there's only one man in that match who's going to walk out World Heavyweight Champion as much as he may think it's going to be him. It's not. Because he's not him. I am. 81. For some reason I knew this was going to bang. Because David Matar is, really good. Fun fact about David Matar, I went to the Rev Pro show before All In, and Michael Oku was wrestling on that show. And, he just is good. And I keep laughing at him, yeah, this is the guy I made French. Anyway, Buster Gates beats him in 14:24 with Rochambeau to qualify the first man in the 5-way for the US title at SummerSlam, not SmackDown. Yes, is Buster Gates. He beats David Matar 14:24 with Rochambeau. 73 for Buster, 69 for David. Then cut backstage. Kayla is with Cora. It's like, joining me now is Cora Jade. Cora Jade, did you hear what? She's like, I don't stop, Kayla. I know what you're going to ask me. Yes, I heard what Dakota Kai had to say earlier on. Yes, I saw what Bayley had to do. I don't really have a lot to say to them. They're going to keep underestimating me because I was like their baby sister. Okay? You saw the Cora Jade who first came to SmackDown. She was, a fangirl for Bayley? Okay? And you think spending all that time around Bayley, I haven't learned exactly who she is and what she's about? But the question is, did they know what Cora Jade's about? Because when I was on top of the world as the Liberty Champion, Bayley was also busy with her own championship business, so she probably wasn't even watching me. Because, as we now know, she never cared about any of us. She only cared about herself. And as for Dakota, she's taken the high ground. She thinks she's, like, better than all of us. Sis, when was the last time you were relevant, okay? You were the third wheel in a group that contained me at the age of 21. So, you can give it all the talk you want. There's only one true star of damage control, and we're going to find out who's the one who was always in control, despite not looking like I was the one in control. I was the glue. The second I left, you two were throwing each other off ladders. So the winner at SummerSlam won't be Dakota Kai, it won't be Bayley. It's going to be Cora, and then like, imagine they're doing the interview, like, in a hallway, like, right by the doctor's office. And then the doctor's office door slams open, and Ilya Dragunov storms out, like, hobbling out. And the doctor trying to get him back. He just grabs Kayla's mic, he stares into the camera, and he goes, "Brock Lesnar, is that the best you've got? Huh? Next week, bring your ass out here, man to man, and try that shit again." Slams the mic down and just storms off. And then Kayla and Cora are just like awkwardly stand around like, oh, fuck, okay then. Bronson Steiner. We see a recap of his most vicious attacks. You know, the one when he turned on Keith Lee at Judgment Day, the one on his own uncle back at King of the Ring, the one on Santino last week. And he's like talking about, you know, if I did all this damage just of my own agenda, imagine what I could do with a strap in my hand, Keith. You see, Keith, he tried his best to be my friend, and for a while we were a unit. But my badass side can't be kept down. At SummerSlam, Keith, I want you to know when you're looking up at the lights, in pain, with welts all over your back, you were the man that unleashed this animal on SmackDown. $75. Mariah May sent a back strain. Okay, that's literally, if I was to pick one person about to get injured in this match, that's who I'd have picked, so it's fine. As long as it wasn't anyone over on this side. But yeah, Candice Florence and the Birds of Prey do pick up the win. Candice pins Chelsea Green with a lion salt. 66 for Killer Kelly, 70 for Lyra, 86 for Florence, 90 for Candice, 23 for Mariah May, 76 for Sonya Deville, 66 for Deonna Purrazzo, and a 57 for Chelsea Green. So yeah, this little quartet here, you know, who have sort of banded together because these helped Candice against Next Gen, getting a little practice under their belt, and they did pick up a win here, so, you know, sort of a decently well-oiled unit. But then after the match, Lyra caused Mariah May to get hurt. Okay. Anyway, after the match, Next Gen jump. They come out. They make their first appearance on SmackDown. Because, you know, Candice did call them out last week. She basically said, you know, bring your ass to SmackDown. So they've listened. They jump over the barricade and they beat up all four of them. Because Bianchi, you know, she's not here. So no one else comes out, I guess. Maybe one babyface does. Maybe someone like, you know, Fallon Henley or Katana Chance. But, you know, by the time they get to the ring, the other women are already down. They get attacked too. And, yeah, Next Gen have got their licks back on the women who sent them packing on Heat. You know, call our bluff, I dare you, basically. We then get quick video, but like we get a hype package. I imagine it'll be like, the graphic for the SummerSlam 5-way where it's got Buster on it next to Pete. And then we're going to find out the Miz and Santos Escobar later on tonight. And then we're going to go, also, we've got the next two matches to next week. And then we get quick snippets from them. We got Tony D'Angelo going, hey, yo, you know, the United States Championship, you know, it may not be the championship that I want. You see, because if I win that title, it'll be the Italian American Championship. But first, I got to qualify. And I'm down to getting down and dirty. Capiche? You know, you've seen that firsthand since I've been here on SmackDown. So, Angelo Dawkins, bring your best next week. Because old Tony D is going to be a problem for you. You're going to be sleeping with the fishes, and I head myself to Tokyo for my biggest prize of all. Let me get Angelo Dawkins goes, you know, fam, check it, Tony, you know, you've only been here for what, a cup of coffee? Or sorry, should I say bottle of wine? Don't you know, I've been a former Intercontinental Champion myself, former Tag Team Champion, you know, I've done it all. But I have never been United States Champion. That's going to drive me all the way to Tokyo and I'm going to get my first United States Championship, and I've got to put you down to get there. And then we get to Nathan Fraser, and he goes, I've had a bit of an up or down career here on SmackDown, you know. Beat Seth Rollins in my debut, you know, that was the blast. But, you know, I've had a couple of losses, had a couple of wins. But SummerSlam's different. SummerSlam's a chance for me to get my first singles championship, or champion of any kind, here on the WWE main roster. And I've got to face the former champion, Swerve Scott, to get there. Swerve, I'll see you next week. It's going to be one hell of a battle. We then cut to the Hit Row, room. And Swerve's not in there. And Ashanti, Top Dollar there, and Top Dollar's like, you know, big words from Nathan Fraser. But unfortunately for him, he ain't going to fight Swerve next week. Because Swerve, he's a little bit banged up right now. So, Ashanti here is going to take his place. So next week, Ashanti will battle on behalf of Hit Row, on behalf of the former United States Champion Swerve Scott, to get Swerve his shot at SummerSlam. So yeah, apparently that swollen elbow Swerve got has kept him out of action for a couple of weeks. So Ashanti's stepping in. He is back in time for SummerSlam, so don't make that think that obviously means Ashanti's losing. No, because Swerve could still get in because he is back in time for SummerSlam. But he's not cleared for next week, so Ashanti's got to wrestle instead. So it's going to be Nathan Fraser against Ashanti the Adonis representing Swerve. So if Ashanti wins, Swerve's still the one in the match, not Ashanti. Sorry for all you God's Adonis Truth fans out there, but it is what it is. 79. The Miz and Santos Escobar don't seem to click. I could buy that, yeah, sure. It is The Miz who cheats to defeat Santos Escobar in 11-14. 75 for The Miz, 63 for Santos Escobar. So The Miz will join Buster Gates and Pete Dunne in that United States Championship 5-way in Tokyo. The Miz is heading to the Tokyo Dome. Shoutouts to him. Again, Mike The Miz in the Tokyo Dome. Try to contain your excitement. Speaking of the Tokyo Dome, Daniel Bryan's with Adam Pearce. And Pearce goes, Bryan, there's a reason I called you in here, I told Seth earlier on tonight, I told you, we're working something big for SummerSlam. Big, huge, never before seen here in WWE. And I want you to be a part of it. And Bryan goes, how's it going along since last week? I've not really been in the mood, Pearce. Lost my SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Cesaro jumping over to ECW and leaving me high and dry. I could use some good news right now, Pearce. Tell me you've got good news. And Pearce just smiles. He goes, I've got good news. I'm sure by this time next week, you'll know what's happening at SummerSlam. Bryan goes, I look forward to it. And he just walks out. And Pearce goes, me too, Bryan. Me too. We then see Santos Escobar walking through the hallway. He's angry. Calming down after his loss to The Miz. When he's approached by Conan, Jorge Santana, and Beatriz Vargas. I know what you're thinking. Conan, aren't they on Raw? I never explicitly said they're on Raw. And they're in town for Velocity. So, yeah. He's Conan's chill. I just want to talk. And Santa's I've got nothing to say to you. What you did to my friends on Monday, what makes you think I want to talk to you? And Conan goes, well, that's actually why I want to talk to you here. We were in the area for Velocity. Big show for my crew. I'm just wondering, you are still a member of the Latino World Order? Santos goes, yes, every day, with pride, LWO. He goes, really? Because, you seem to have been left here on SmackDown by yourself. Everybody else is over on Raw, Andrade, Zelina, Ray, Cruz, Joaquin. But yet here you are, floundering. While Jorge, Beatriz, they're thriving under me. And then Andrade, Zelina, and Cruz walk in. And then they're like, hey, back off. And Conan's like, well, finally you've come to check in on your friend. What brings you to SmackDown? And Zelina's like, well, you know damn well what brings you to SmackDown, On Heat tonight, your man, Jorge Santana, going one-on-one with Andrade, okay? So, this is LWO business, not Conan business, you know, why are we even looking at you after what you did to Ray? You know, Ray's been your best friend for how long? Yet you stabbed him in the back for what? And for what? And this bitch last week who screwed me out of my match? Huh? Get out of our face. Conan goes, oh, don't worry, we'll leave. But we'll see you tonight at Velocity. See you later, Santos. And Santos goes, spare me. 80? Yeah, that's why Io's a ring general and show sealer, I believe. Yes. A random 9-minute match, Io Sky beats Fallon Henley with a moonsault in 8:58. 97 for Io and a 36 for Fallon. And 80 for the match. Probably the best match of Fallon Henley's life. But I had no other baby faces, so yeah, Io just gets a win. After the match, though, Cammy takes the mic and she goes, Asuka, you know, you're supposed to be this evil empress, you know, this feared murder clown, this empress of tomorrow. Yet you're resorting to dirty tricks last week, like shoving my face in cake. Okay? Well, I'm glad you think it's so funny because, you know, you came back at WrestleMania. You had this scary build-up. Oh, Connor the murder clown's coming. No one's ready for Asuka. Well, I'll tell you who's ready for Asuka. Io Sky. Okay. Do you not remember? First time Io came to this roster, she beat you, Asuka. I'm sure you're going to say that was a different Asuka. I remember that Asuka being touted as an unbeatable monster too. I remember you being undefeated for what, nearly 3 years? Only because Io was never around during that time. And now, the murder clown's here. Ooh, what's Asuka gonna do? Who's she gonna kill? I tell you who she's not gonna kill. Us. Because underneath that crazed face paint, that ridiculous haircut, and that weird mask, is the same old woman that Io's beaten. The same woman who lost multiple times in the past to the Genius of the Sky. And at SummerSlam, when you get your second main event in the Tokyo Dome and lose yet again, the Empress of Tomorrow, the murder clown, is simply just going to look like a clown. Because once that free count hits the mat and the bell rings and your Io Sky's declared your winner and still Women's World Champion, all these months of mystique, all of these months of terrorizing everybody you step into the ring with, all of this hype, gone in 3 seconds. So I'm glad you enjoyed last week. I'm glad you got a good laugh, Asuka, because there's not gonna be a lot of things for you to laugh about come SummerSlam. Because there's one woman more sick, more twisted than the murder clown. It's the Joshi Judas. And you know that. Next week, though, we have a pretty decently sized show. We have the next and final 2 United States Championship non-contenders qualifiers. We've got Angelo Dawkins taking on Tony D in the first match. The winner of that match will go to SummerSlam. And other than that, we've got the other one of Shanky, the Adonis of Hit Row, representing Swerve Scott, the former United States Champion, taking on Nathan Frazer, in singles action. And let me talk to you, because we saw it earlier on tonight, the megastar LA Knight goes one-on-one with the lie detector Bobby Fish on next week's show. And it's now been checked and accepted. Brock Lesnar, the Beast, returns to SmackDown next week to answer the call. Ilya Dragunov earlier on, shouted at him, said, "Get your ass to SmackDown next week," and it appears Brock Lesnar's not backing down, because why would he? All that and more next week. What? Oh my goodness. This match gets a 60? This is the worst main event in history. Disrupted by injury. Whiplash neck strain to Brad Sawyer. Okay. Whatever the fuck, game. So yeah, this probably be the worst episode of SmackDown of all time. But it is Jacob Fatu and Swerve Scott who pick up the win. Obviously, Solo spikes Malik Blade to punch their ticket to SummerSlam, while they'll fight Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships in hopefully a match much better than this. 62 for Kyle and Rogers, 59 for Brad Sawyer, 75 for Jacob Fatu, 73 for Solo Sikoa, 52 for Ed Reed, and a 53 for Malik. Yeah, then at the end of the show, the two teams just go face to face. Sami and Kev hold their belts up, and the Samoans, roar at them and make belt gestures. And Solo goes, "They're coming to us. Ooh, so they're coming to us. You're scared." And then that ends the show, which probably gets us a 72. 80. Really? That's really good, considering the main event was dog shit. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is that. And we're going to move on to Heat Velocity, where we've got a pretty decently sized show. We've got Jorge Santana in his in-ring debut taking on Andrade. And we have that trios match we announced last week, where two NXT Japan trios battle it out for the right to go to SummerSlam to fight for the trios titles. Holy shit. When I just did the rundown for Velocity, I forgot about this, because we announced that last week. We do kick off with a Cruiserweight Championship match. Mustafa Ali taking on Scripps, and that match gets an 86. Scripps, Reggie, has a 86 rated match on his record. And yes, he does cheat to defeat Mustafa Ali in 13:05. He makes defense number 2 of the Cruiserweight title. 68 for Scripps, 89 for Mustafa Ali. So yeah, obviously Mustafa Ali did do the carrying here. And yeah, the reign of Scripps rolls on. Who can stop this masked madman? That's the biggest win of his career, probably. It's a former Universal Champion he just beat right there. Moving on to that, we do have that previously announced trios match, which gets us a 68, which is, I guess, okay, considering most of these guys have no popularity. But, as you probably imagined, Kushida is on the winning team. He captains former NXT Japan Tag Team Champions Naruhito Matsushita and Rokuru Kobayashi over Yosuke Akatsuta, Hanzo Kaneko, and Junpei Nakai. So it is Kushida, Matsushita, and Kobayashi who are the three going to SummerSlam. Probably on the kickoff, I'm going to be honest. Going to be straight up with you and say that's probably going to be on the pre-show. But they will face Death from Above's Pistolero, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik for the trios titles. 44 for Rokuro Kobayashi, 59 for Naruhito Matsushita, 72 for Kushida, who is injured, so that's why he did so bad. 56 for Junpei Nakai, 63 for Hanzo Kaneko, and a 62 for Yosuke Akatsuka. Maybe that team performed better. But I liked this being Kushida and two former tag champs, so that's why I picked that team. The main event, though. I'm tired of these fucking chemistry notes. Only gets a 59. Bullshit, does it? Okay. Andrade against Jorge Santana. Goes 18 minutes and 13. And yeah, apparently they don't click. But it is Santana who does pick up the win, following interference from Conan, who distracts the referee, and then Andrade is attacked by a man in a bull mask. A white bull mask, specifically. And that leads to Jorge picking up the win. Only a 65 for Andrade and a 46 for Santana. They don't click, so that's nothing to judge their actual performances on. But we do have a big show closing segment. Because, of course, that man is revealed. He takes his mask off to reveal he is Roosh, the former AAA World Champion. Bought the company out, and he was there, and he seemed like a perfect fit for this group. So here he is. Roosh, Jorge Santana, and Konnan. I mentioned Konnan orders Roosh and Santana to attack Andrade in the ring. Andrade's left, attack 2-on-1. Rey Mysterio's music wasn't hit. But Rey wouldn't show. And they'd hit Rey Mysterio's music again, he still wouldn't show. And we cut to the back, and we've got Dominik, who's wearing a matching t-shirt to everybody else. He's attacking Rey's leg. He goes, there you go, Dad. Huh? Finally gonna put you out of your misery, you old man, huh? That's what you get. That's what you get, huh? We're taking over now. I'm the real Mysterio. And then, imagine Andrade still being attacked by Roosh and Santana in the ring. When out come Cruz and Santos. And probably Zelina as well. And I imagine, retcon that Beatrice is out there as well. So Zelina, Cruz, Santos all come running out with steel chairs. And they take a chair to... Cruz will come in, he'll swing the chair, take Santana down. And swing for Roosh. Roosh will try and fight back, but then Santos is there. And then Santos has got the chair. He takes a swing back. And he cracks it over the skull of Cruz del Toro. Shock horror. Zelina is probably on her feet still, so she's watching what the fuck have you just done? Beatrice Vargas, but then takes Zelina down. Santos rips off that LWO shirt. He picks up Andrade. He goes, you abandoned me, huh? You abandoned me to fight for myself, huh? This LWO, it was never the family you made it out to be, huh? It's a trap. It's a prison. I've found the light. And he picks up Andrade, hits that Phantom Driver. And Santos poses alongside Roosh, Dom, and Santana. And Beatrice and Konnan, I guess. To end the show. So a big angle to close Heat. Oh, not Heat, Velocity. Heat and Velocity getting some, big stuff heading into SummerSlam. But, literally got a comment on the last episode of SmackDown. It's like, Santos doesn't feel like he's part of the LWO. Huh. He sure doesn't, does he? 68 for the show overall. That should have put that World Title match on last, but obviously I wanted to end with that rather than the actual match. What matters more, though, is what you thought of the show. Mainly of SmackDown, but actually maybe of Velocity this week, because it was a big angle. And I'll see you next time for Week 2 of August's Raw, where we'll hear from the American Nightmare WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. And Sheamus will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Randy Orton. See you then.